countdown.
There we go.
Now we go.
Hopefully, yeah. Hey everyone, we're recording a podcast on a Saturday at 4:00 in the afternoon. What's this sorcery?
Clint has locked his children in the closet. And...
Yeah, my kids are in the dungeon. No, the wife took my mother-in-law's in town, so she took the kids for a walk, so I get some downtime. So yeah, we're gonna record this thing in the middle of the day. Which is what I would like it normally to be. And also, I'm trying this new thing. Normally, we use StreamYards, and this new streaming thing is very, very similar. It's called Melon. It's by Streamlabs. Very similar layout, as most of you guys can tell. I don't know how to see comments, though, so give me a second to bring that up. How do I show comments?
There we go. Show chat.
Where does it say that? Show chat. There we go. Okay, stream Facebook, Twitch. Okay, I got it.
It just has it on separate things.
Okay. See, that's one thing I like about StreamYard. This is my first time doing this, so I'm learning. We'll try it out, and if we don't like it, we'll go on. But yeah, Facebook, Twitch. Okay, it's all like in tabs and everything, so.
Yeah.
Twitch, Facebook, YouTube. Okay. But yeah, so we're going to record the podcast here in just a few minutes. I was actually just over at Disney Springs, and let me mute my phone so I don't hear all my Ring doorbell stuff going off. I was over at Disney Springs with the wife, as you guys saw on Twitter, and my little girl. We did some dress shopping for her, so I got back from that. And Gideon's open today, and that was a madhouse.
Yeah, I mean, it's amazing how many people came out for something that's been available in Orlando since, checked notes, October of 2016. So,
I was going to say, when did the original Gideon's open? So
October of 2016, so it's been there for over 4 years.
Yeah.
Some people were like, oh, well, we got to get that limited edition swag, and I'm like, yeah, and like, 90% of the people who get that are going to bury it in the back of their closet or a storage box, never to be seen from again.
Yeah, it was like a poster, and there was a new T-shirt you could buy. And that was about it. It was a few.
And I was near their Audubon Park location. I almost drove by there just to get a cookie and then drive to Disney Springs and then take a picture of that cookie in front of the other one and just like, yeah, I did this in 45 minutes. So. And
that's what everybody was saying on Twitter. I posted a video clip, a time lapse of the queue, which started over by the D store, the D Trend, or not?
Yeah.
No, not that one.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Right there
next
by
to the movie theaters.
Right there by Starbucks. Yeah. The line started there, fished around, went over the bridge, all the way up towards Gideon's, and it didn't end at Gideon's. It ended right before it. So, anyways, what we can do, Barry, since this is kind of divided like this in the chat, I'll keep an eye on Facebook. You keep an eye on YouTube. Let's do that.
Okay.
And we'll just kind of do it that way since it's kind of split up like that. So. Give me a minute. I'm going to get it going here, and we'll get this rocking and rolling. If I can figure out how to mute you and everybody. All right, there we go. Muted. I don't want to mute me because I need the music. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the ThrillGeek Podcast. I'm Clint.
I'm Barry.
And we are back for our bi-weekly episodes. I've actually contemplated on going back to weekly since stuff has been kind of picking up here a little bit. I don't know. But anyways, we're back, and we do have an a lot to talk about as far as new shows, new theme park news, big theme park news, especially in regards to Disneyland. And a little new TV show that started on Disney Plus. So I think we're gonna go ahead and dive right into stuff. But first,
didn't you get up to 2 things in the last week?
Yeah, really quick. I got to go check out the new Museum of Illusions in Orlando, which is over.
Illusions.
Yeah. Which is over. Magic. There's this meme of the when from it reminds me of when in The Force Awakens when he puts the blood on the stormtrooper helmet. There's a meme. It's on YouTube. If you look Magic meme Star Wars or whatever, and the guy the stormtrooper puts the blood on his helmet, and then they reverse it, and it goes up, and he's like magic. Anyways, so I got to go out to myself, Emily, her boyfriend James, and Cheryl, my wife. We got to go out to Icon Park and check out this Museum of Illusions place, which is pretty much right in front of pretty much everything right there is in front of the Orlando Eye. But if you're facing it, it's off to the right hand side. It's an exhibit that features illusions that you can stare at, and something really cool, really weird happens. And then the big thing with Instagram and everything are they have these illusions that you can actually like participate in. And they have like certain areas on the floor for you to stand where you're supposed to stand and take the picture, and where the person is supposed to stand. That's part of the illusion, and then you take the picture. And you have to do a little bit of edit. Like there's a few where you have to turn the picture upside down so it gets the proper effect and that sort of thing. It was cute. It was a fun little experience. It's short. I think we were done in about an hour. 45 minutes, an hour, and that we took our time, and we looked at a lot of the stuff that were, like I said, there's illusions that are like pictures on the wall, and then there's like models that like create like some sort of an illusion or something, and then there's ones that you actually like participate in. But I mean, if you take your time, you could spend about an hour in there, maybe an hour and a half at most.
So it sounds like a good iDrive diversion, which a lot of those places it's about an hour.
Is. Yeah, it's one of those iDrive attractions that you can swing in and do in an hour and a half, and then go about your day. I was curious about ticket prices, and apparently for their grand opening, they're doing like $15 for the month of January, but you have to buy those online. It's definitely worth the $15 to me. I don't know. I didn't see what it was going to go up to after that. If it goes up to $25, $30. I don't see the value in it for that, but for $15, even $20, I can justify that price. For going out there for an hour and a half. I posted a blog post, a few of the pictures, a few of the illusions up on our blog, which you can check out. And of course, if you want to go back and scroll through our social media channels, I posted some up on there. And then what was the other thing that I did?
You went to Gaylord Palms last night. Yes, because it was so long ago. I know.
I took my 2 boys out to Gaylord Palms. They invited us out to check out their new Pirates. Is it Pirates and Princesses weekends, or their Pirate and Princess weekend event at the resort? And a lot of it is similar to some of their other seasonal events. They have a scavenger hunt. They have a show that you can kind of participate in, and the kids, I'm trying to pull it up here because I don't want to sound like I'm just rambling here. Here it is. Pirate and Princess weekends. It mostly takes place over in the Everglades swamp area. They pretty much, the main thing is the pirate outpost invasion. You have, there's 3 different show elements while you watch this little show, the pirate outpost invasion. You get a sip of the captain's brew, which was like butterscotch. It was like some kind of butterbeer thing. The kids loved it. So you get that, and then at the end of it, it is socially distanced. They kind of have tables in each corner for you to sit and watch this show. And then the first room is an interactive song. This guy talking about being a pirate. It gets the kids involved. Swabbing the deck and hoisting the sails, and it's a fun little interactive thing. And then the second room in the pirate outpost invasion, you get to meet the princess, and there's a little story that happens with her. It was interesting. I was trying to tweet and stuff, and the kids were loving it. So the kids were happy, and so that was good. And then at the end, you get to meet the captain, which was really cool. And he gives you like a piece of paper, like he asks you like a few questions, and he comes up with you take the pirate oath, and then you can become a pirate. And he gives you like this little piece of paper with your official pirate. He gives you an official pirate name. It was really cute. And then they like I said, they have a scavenger hunt, as do most of these, especially, the Halloween, the Christmas events at Gaylord Palms. They usually have the scavenger hunt, which takes place in the main atrium. And so you could do that. And what else was there? The Speakeasy. The Speakeasy was actually a surprise on Twitter. I posted a picture of the pirate Speakeasy, and everybody loved that. You can go there and you get a pirate-themed drink. There's one drink for the kids that the kids can enjoy. It was called the Kraken, so I thought that was kind of fun. So you can go to the pirate Speakeasy and grab a drink. It's a fun little event. I think this is kind of their filler event before they get into like Easter and summer and that sort of thing. Once you finish the scavenger hunt, as usual, you can turn in and you get a cute little bag of, spoiler alert, you get a bag of chocolate pirate coins. So Connor loved that. My oldest one not so much because he's not a chocolate person. So yeah, that was pretty much the gist of it. These special events are really cool at the Gaylord Palms. Can I justify going to Gaylord Palms just as like a day guest to do these things? I can't. But if you're staying there at the resort, they're a lot of fun. And I would definitely recommend them if you're going to stay at Gaylord Palms for like a staycation and you got kids and that sort of thing. I would recommend checking them out. I think it's to do the Pirate Outpost invasion. I think it's like $15 a person. It was actually kind of cute. I liked it. So anyways, those were the two little things that I did. So what have you been up to, Barry? Have you been up to anything exciting?
Well, I had a rager of a night last night, so that's why I'm here in sunglasses. No, just kidding. I went to the eye doctor this morning, and my eyes are still dilated. So
so that's
so I still have to wear glasses.
For those of you watching the live stream, Barry's rocking the shades indoors.
Yeah,
or not watching the live stream, I should say.
So yeah, I mean, I have been to the Festival Arts, which we will talk about later in the program. But first up, let's go and dive into some pop culture stuff. After how many months? It's been over a year and a half. We have the MCU back again.
It was so nice to see that. I mean, we've watched...
I cried during the fanfare. I was like, oh my god. It's like, I haven't heard this in so long.
Like, I've been watching Disney's...
and they updated the video during the fanfare, too.
I did. We're only going to chat about the first episode, but I watched both episodes, and the second time I watched because the intro in the first one was really cool, how they went all retro and they closed it in like a square, and even the audio went like hollow, like if you were listening. It was really cool, like the little edits that they did to give it that retro feel. But yeah, I watched it the second time inside the Marvel letters are all the little scenes playing, and I saw stuff from Endgame. I saw stuff from, you were right. They definitely did update.
They de-emphasized certain people and emphasized other people now in the new fanfare.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, I expected a new updated version of it anyway, because, Iron Man and Cap aren't the main characters anymore. So
yeah. Okay, for some reason I just noticed our podcast didn't go live on Facebook, so this thing's failing. Oh well.
We're on YouTube and Twitch, so
yeah. Apologies for that, but anyways.
But I mean, we're going to talk episode 1 because we want to sort of next time when we come back, we'll talk the rest of the episode since the next time when Emily is here, because I'm sure she's probably like, "Why are you two talking about this right now?"
But we'll be nice and save this.
We want to talk episode 1 because it's probably the most straightforward of, like, it's a 1950s, early 1960s sitcom.
Yeah.
Which
sitcom though?
A lot of Dick Van Dyke influence.
Yeah.
Almost to the way the set looked is very similar to Dick Van Dyke.
Yeah.
Even though they if you pay attention, they definitely lifted things from a couple of the different sitcoms from that era.
What other sitcoms? I'm trying to pick your brain. What are the other sitcoms that you notice in that show?
Well, I mean, there's definitely. I mean, I feel like Dick Van Dyke was definitely the heaviest influence on that one. There's definitely some I Love Lucy in it. I mean, the nosy neighbor is every sitcom. And I love that her name is Agnes, which is like,
Yeah,
I forgot. It was Bewitched. Was Agnes was the nosy neighbor in Bewitched? I think.
Yeah, but we got Cheryl's mom into it, because she's down here watching the kids and stuff, and she was like, she was like saying like all this stuff from this sitcom, that set piece is from this sitcom.
Yeah.
So it was really interesting seeing, because I grew up, my mom and dad watched all the I Love Lucy's and all that stuff. So I have somewhat of a familiar knowledge of those sitcoms, but it was really interesting hearing it from somebody that actually grew up with that stuff. And she was saying, "Oh, that's the exact set piece from that show."
Yeah.
And she liked it, so it was really cool to see. My mother-in-law was into WandaVision, so.
And for the most part, it's a straightforward sitcom episode, except for there's definitely the sinister undertones of they don't quite know why they're there. They don't quite know what is going on. He goes to his job and he doesn't really know. He just computes things, and he doesn't really know what he's computing.
Did you see the part where he said, "I have some"? What is it? What does he say? "I have some information to share," or something like that.
Yeah.
I'm like, "Oh, really? What's this about?"
Yeah. I mean, there's definitely, and then of course the whole real sinister moment where his boss starts choking.
Yeah, that whole segment was really weird and really awkward.
Well, I mean, I don't want to go too spoilerly, but I mean, I'm sure, but in both of our cases, our minds are starting to figure, so what's going on here?
Yeah.
Is this an alternate reality she's created? Is she trapped in something that someone has created, much like the tech from Spider-Man Far From Home?
Mm-hmm.
Are these real people who are trapped in this reality with her? Because that really, which I would not be surprised if that's one of the things, that there's real people in this reality, in these realities. That makes me wonder why, if it's not just her creating a new reality, if someone has trapped her somehow.
Yeah.
And then her mind is creating this, and then I would love to know, is it sitcoms because as a kid that's how Wanda learned English, watching American sitcoms on TV in Sokovia.
Interesting point. Yeah, I never thought of that.
And some people have been picky about bringing up the whole, why doesn't she have an accent anymore? And it's like, they even had them talk in that snappy way of sitcoms from that era.
It was so refreshing to see these two, because Wanda, Vision and Scarlet Witch are two characters that we didn't see a whole lot of, if you really think about it.
They didn't really.
And you lay out
their love story was only touched on in different moments.
Exactly. So you don't really get to see, throughout the entire MCU that just pretty much wrapped up with Endgame, or Endgame. You know, it's good to see, even if there's some kind of mysterious, you know, this show is leading up to something. It's fun to watch these two just act out these sitcoms, just as you know, just taking it for face value. I loved it.
Yeah.
I loved their acting. I loved you know, the quirkiness. But you know, like you said, when the really mysterious, weird stuff happens, like when he starts choking, and you know, it's almost like they're questioning like what's going on, like what, you know.
Yeah, and then I mean, then of course the first episode ends. You know, spoiler alert: if you're listening to us, then you should have already watched this. Someone's watching them on a monitor. So, you know, that's as a podcaster nerd, did you see the Rodecaster Pro next to the guy? Yeah.
I was like, that's a Rodecaster Pro. I was like, that's a podcast like mixer. I was like,
yeah. So it's like someone's watching this.
Yeah.
You know, and we know things are not going to stay this way for this show. I mean, just based on the trailer alone, we know there's something going on.
Yeah.
But I like the way, you know, some people. Like I said, we did not get enough of Wanda and Vision in you know, in Ultron, Civil War,
exactly,
and Infinity War. You know, like you said, their love affair was only hinted at. You know, part of it is because, you know, when she can see into people's minds, and when she sees his for the first time, it's nothing but, you know, what are the words I'm looking for? Like pure. I mean, he is just, he only wants the best for everyone.
Yeah.
And that's part of the reason she falls in love with him, is because he is this like pure soul that just does good, and that's the only thing he wants and can do. So it's, you know, and then there's the whole thing, you know, Vision being who he is and being you know, he was Jarvis, you know, part of him is Jarvis.
Yeah.
Before he died, did he download himself into the internet? You know, there's that idea too.
Yeah.
You know, so he could be hit. He could, you know, all this time, you know, he could have downloaded himself into the internet, and then once Endgame happened and the snap happened again, and Wanda came back, maybe that's the catalyst for him trying to contact her.
Yeah.
You know? Or just could be the fact that this is someone who has reality bending powers, who is just bending reality in her just complete grief and sadness, you know?
Yeah.
Because there's definitely a sadness in it too, because, you know, a few times I feel like in the first episode where she sort of cracks a little bit and you can see it.
Yeah. There's so much going. Apparently, like, people are going back watching the episode like 3, 4, or 5 times, you know, to find all the little Easter eggs and everything going on. I loved it. I'm hooked. And like, you know, like we said when we first started talking about it, I'm excited that we got some new, fresh MCU content because we've been so deprived with no Black Widow still being delayed, and you know, it was good to get back into things and, you know, starting to move forward again.
Yeah, I mean, we got this, and then literally a couple weeks after this is done, we get Falcon and Winter Soldier, and then, you know, beginning of May, we get Black Widow, whatever form that may happen.
Yeah.
I think Disney's going to have a hard decision to make, because this train's a rolling and it really can't stop, for bringing the MCU back.
Yeah.
So it's and then after a few weeks after that, we have Loki. So
things are coming. You know, like I said, the train has left the station again. So, you know,
yeah, I'm just happy to have it back. It was way too long. You know, I mean, I know some people in this time have decided, oh, well, I'm over the MCU. It's like, as long as they're, you know, we're getting 2 superheroes in a freaking sitcom in some type of, you know, introducing the multiverse.
Yeah.
Be happy for them coming up with some creative stuff. I mean, you know, it's like.
And somebody said that. Somebody said that on
DC
Twitter.
over there just throwing darts at a dartboard, trying to figure out what the hell they're doing.
Blindly throwing darts at a dartboard.
Yeah, like, you know, Marvel's had this stuff planned out for years.
Yeah, one guy, I forgot who it was, but somebody said on Twitter, kudos to Marvel Studios for coming up with such a creative medium, or not really medium, that's not the word I'm looking for, but such a creative idea. Yeah, just such a creative idea.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely something that's been done in the comic books. There's definitely, I feel like they're going to things that they pull from Scarlet's Witch story and Vision stories in the comics, and also this X-Men book, House of M, which some people have also referenced as possibly them pulling some ideas from that for this. So, hey, I'm excited. We're getting MCU every week.
Bring it on.
Bring it on. And this is just the beginning. This is just the tip of the iceberg, and it's going to give these characters more room to breathe and to get to know more about them. And so that's just going to make the movies even bigger events. So
yep. All right, moving on to theme park goodies really quick. We did get an announcement that Super Nintendo World has been delayed again due to COVID-19. I guess the cases are on the rise again out in Japan. It was scheduled for its grand opening on February 4th, and the state of emergency that has been issued out there is set to last through, unless they extend it again, February 7th. And then Universal Studios said... really quick, we sincerely apologize to all the guests and stakeholders who are looking forward to the opening of Super Nintendo World. For the concern, the opening date will be decided and announced after the state of emergency is lifted. So
yeah, I mean, it's cases are on the rise in Japan. Other parks, especially like Tokyo Disney, have had started to limit attendance again. They've shut down some of the restaurants in the parks. And so it's kudos to them. It's just going to get delayed a little bit again. We'll see, if it still opens in February or if they push it back a little bit more to March to make sure things are clear. But there's no point in opening it now if they're having to go back to limiting attendance into the parks. So.
Yeah, and Japan's been from what I've heard, they've been really on top of this virus a lot better than we have.
Yeah.
So hopefully they can get things back under control over there and get into some sort of, because didn't they got into previews for Super Nintendo World because they were being really strict about filming and stuff.
They've gotten into previews, and a lot of the people who've been in there, like our friend Chris with TDR Explorer, have kept their mouth shut about a lot of the things, and really have only talked about things we've seen that have been revealed so far. So, we're just gonna have to wait a little bit longer, and
we're gonna have to wait even longer here stateside. So.
Yeah, so we're in what we're getting anyway when it finally opens. We're getting basically a half version of it in Hollywood. So here, we'll be lucky.
I drove by.
We'll be lucky if it's 2025, which that seems to be the rumored next possible target date for Epic Universe 2025, 2026.
I drove by, I was on Sand Lake, and I drove by the Epic Universe construction site, and I was like,
they are going ahead with the Kirkman Road expansion. Which is now scheduled to be finished by 2025, which makes some people think, hey, maybe.
And there was some construction going on, but I think aren't they moving like a lot of buildings and warehouses over to that site too, or something like that?
Yeah, they were already going to move a bunch of backstage stuff over there to give some more room and to some stuff that had been, I believe, pushed off property that they can now move back onto their own personal property. And but because they're pretty. I also I think it's they won't ever say, but it's possibly to open up some of the backstage space at studios and islands for possible future expansion if needed.
Yeah, because they're pretty landlocked over there at studios and islands for.
Yeah, especially because the previous owners sold off sections of land there, aka the Bell Apartments.
Yeah.
that little office park area, which for the most part, Universal's taken over a lot of that office park there, that gas station. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that I wonder one day if they ended up buying back from whoever to get it back.
Moving on, you got to go check out Taste of Festival of the Arts. I was going to call it Festival of the Arts.
Taste of Epcot International Festival of the Arts.
Get your podcast show notes right, Barry. Gosh.
Yes, I mean, because God knows that's how we label it when we post on YouTube. Now we just call it Festival of the Arts. Taste of
Festival of the Arts. So, what were some of the what would you get into out there? What were some of the highlights and some of the stuff going on out there at Epcot?
Yeah, I took a brief visit there on opening weekend, and which you can see on our YouTube channel on the latest episode of ThrillGeek Adventures, which we would love for you to watch because we put some time and effort into these things, and would like to get a few more views. So, yeah. But I got to check out some of the Festival of the Arts. For the most part, a lot of it is the same. They have spread some of the things more out into Future World too. There are a lot more art booths in Future World. Plus, the paint by numbers thing is across from the land on one of the lovely Innovations construction walls. So they've moved that over there. And you've got a lot of new food this year. And drinks this year.
Did you try some food?
Yeah, I tried a couple of things. Pop Eats has revamped some stuff and has tomato soup and grilled cheese. But it was supposed to come in like a soup can, but I don't know if they ran out of them already because it just came sort of like in a cup. But which you can see on the video. But they have a tomato soup and then a regular grilled cheese and then tomato soup, and I got the French onion and bacon grilled cheese. And that's definitely going to be the mac and cheese booth of the Festival of the Arts, as far as like there's always a line. And for the price, it's not bad. The regular one is $5, and then the one I had was $5.25. And it was really good. I mean, the tomato soup's not a hot tomato soup. It's like a warm tomato soup because I'm sure they don't want people to burn their tongues and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And when you got grilled cheese and tomato soup, you're gonna dip the grilled cheese. So.
Yeah, that's a given.
Yeah, that's a requirement.
You got a grilled cheese sandwich and tomato soup. You don't dip it. You're a
monster.
Issues.
You're a monster if you don't do that.
Exactly.
I tried that, and then the Mexico. What was it? El Artista Hambia. I murdered that.
You better be careful there.
The Mexico food studio, has 3 all new menu items, and I tried one of theirs. I'm going blank on it, it's the one with the pork. It's the one with the pork.
The one with the pork. There you go, ladies and gentlemen.
And that was really good too. World Show Place is back with a lot of there's a lot of art booths in the World Show Place, along with 2 stages, one with the Epcot pianist, who's pretty much been a fixture since the parks reopened, and the other stage, the Gravity Defying Art show is back. Basically the Cirque type show that they do.
Yeah.
Is back again this year and takes place in the World Show Place. And then there's 2 food booths, like a Festival Favorites booth in there and one other booth. And then, like I said, a lot of artwork and the festival merchandise. And then throughout World Showcases, all the artwork, all the different, artwork you can just browse and
tell people about the construction walls, what they did with the construction walls. That's really cool.
Yeah, in some spots, the construction walls, there's figment wings, and
different photo opportunities against the construction walls.
Yeah, different photo ops, and of course the art, the regular inserting yourself in classic art photo ops are back, and those are also spread out. They're not just in World Showcase; they're also in Future World. So yeah, I mean they sort of spread the festival more throughout the park, just for distancing reasons, and
the sidewalk, the chalk art's always really cool to check out.
yeah, the chalk art's back on the walkway to the World Showcase Plaza, and usually if you're lucky, you can catch the artist working on the chalk art because Well, the amazing thing about it is they create this artwork and it lasts for usually like a few days, and then they start all over again. So it's really impressive, and like I said, if you're lucky, you can catch them doing it. Same thing also in the World Showplace stage. Thursday, I think Thursday through Sundays, you'll sometimes be able to catch live art being created. There's some of the different Disney artists who do the fast painting thing where they basically, create an entire art piece in about 10-15 minutes. So, all that is back. One of the newer things is the Voices of Liberty. Since there is no Disney on Broadway this year, are doing a special Disney songbook show in the American Gardens Theater. So that is one of the newer things. On top of, like I said, they really updated the food this year. A lot of new food and new drinks for the festival. Of course, the booth that will never die, the Citrus Blossom booth, is back because they still got them orange birds they got to get rid of. So I would love to know how many of those things they ordered because they must have ordered a lot of them.
And the sport too, right?
Yeah, I mean, you can find the Spike the Bee spork at select booths throughout the festival. So yeah, they still got those orange birds. It was fun. Like I said, and we'll be back. We just did a short ThrillGeek Adventures, and we'll be back again in another week or two, and we'll do another ThrillGeek Adventures to cover some of the other stuff in the festival.
Maybe do a live stream. Maybe we should do a live stream.
Yeah, I am going to try to get out there and do a live stream too. We haven't live streamed Epcot in a little while. It's I know
might be an idea.
It feels like all I do is live stream Animal Kingdom at Disney.
You do. It doesn't feel like it. You do.
But because it's easy to walk into that park, do a lap.
Yeah, you're not
for an hour, and then.
You're not wrong.
And you got animals, so it's like you can just show video of cute animals the entire time.
Yeah.
But it's like I said, running through February 22nd. Be sure to check out our YouTube channel with the episode of Epcot Festival of the Arts opening weekend, and also we do have a merchandise video, and we also have we have a merchandise video, so be sure to check them out. And that's that.
Speaking of food, Universal Orlando,
the Mardi Gras Food Festival,
announced the Mardi Gras Food Festival.
Basically,
but just to keep my PR people happy, they announced Mardi Gras 2021 International Flavors of Carnival, and it's good to see that we're getting some sort of Mardi Gras because of the fact that we got Mardi Gras cut short for its anniversary last year, given there's not going to be any parade. That was one of the big things that came out of this announcement. There's not going to be any parade. They are going to position, apparently, the floats throughout the park. I don't know if I don't think they mentioned anything about maybe people being up on the floats throwing beads or
they didn't mention anything about beads. They are going to have the performers out, and it looks like they're still going to have some of the bands from New Orleans come out. Whether they'll be up, I would assume either on a stage or maybe they'll create a stage out of one of the floats.
Yeah.
They are putting 3 of the floats in the Music Plaza area. And they'll be seating there, so it would make sense. Maybe they throw the band in there. But
it does say countless beads. So apparently they are. I'm reading our own article, and it says guests will have the first ever opportunity to get up close with the Mardi Gras float stationed throughout the park, as well as a Big Easy Bash with energetic dancers, still performers, brass band musicians, countless beads, and a new Mardi Gras tribute store. So,
I mean, they'll have the floats spread throughout. They haven't really said if they'll have the food spread throughout, but based on the number of, looks like, booths, they might have it a little bit spread out more. I can't imagine they're going to have it all in the New York area. To me, that wouldn't, I don't know how well that would be good for distancing.
Yeah, there's going to be over 70 dishes available from 13 locations.
So I imagine it's going to be a little bit more spread out, which is, they've slowly, the last couple of years, have been spreading Mardi Gras out a little bit more. You know, creating like the skeleton bar, creating the seafood boil over across from Mel's. Which, you know, that's one of the things we've talked about before in the past is, like, you know, for like Christmas and Mardi Gras, you know, them sort of trying to spread things out a little bit better around the park instead of centering everything around New York, Central Park in New York. So it makes sense that, you know, everything will be sort of spread out for distancing. You know, you'll still get the performers. You'll still get beads. It'll be interesting how they do that to keep people from clumping up on each other. You know, you'll still get some music. The biggest thing is this is basically going to be a food festival. You know, they've taken dishes from the different, you know, carnivals from around the world, including the ones in Europe. You know, so, you know, most people just think of Mardi Gras in New Orleans and think of Carnival down in Brazil, but there's all kinds of different festivals based around this time of year. So it's like a very impressive list of foods.
They said Brazil, Canada, Colombia, Cuba, Italy, France, and more. So those are some of the countries you're going to be able to experience food from. So.
Yeah, some of the stuff looks really interesting and really unique. It looks like some really good beverages too. It's not just going to be like different types of beer. There's going to be some different mixed drinks, and different types of regular drinks.
It'll take place daily from Saturday, February 6th, all the way through Sunday, March 28th.
Yeah, so I'm
we
excited.
Will definitely be out there.
Yeah, more than likely we will probably be out there opening day to check it out, at least opening weekend. To check things out, and you know, I'm definitely, like we said, every one of these modified holiday events, you know, we're just happy to have anything. You know, we realize how lucky we are to be able to, you know, go to the parks relatively safely.
This is a perfect segue into our next topic.
Yes, you know, let's just dive into the thing that's pretty much.
Speaking of getting into a park.
Disneyland has effectively sunsetted, as in their words, the annual pass program until further notice.
This was huge news. I did the quick little live stream on our Facebook page. So I'm going to kind of let you kind of say what you think about this.
Yeah, I mean, I really don't think anybody should be surprised by this. And I also think some people are overreacting. Basically, whenever Disneyland finally reopens, I feel like there was no way they were going to be able to deal with the annual passes. You know, they're going to be under. You
mean as far as crowds go?
As far as crowds go, as far as if they do as a reservation system, you know, I think it's much easier to just wipe the slate clean for when they reopen, because it's going to be a limited attendance. You know, if based on what some of the rules in California, it's only going to be people within a certain mile radius of Disneyland. So it's only people in certain zip codes that can come to Disneyland.
Yeah.
So I think it's just easier, you know, more than likely to have, you know, you have to buy a ticket, or maybe there's a discount for southern, you know, for residents. You know, there'll be more than likely there'll probably could be a discounted ticket initially, because not everything's probably going to be open.
Yeah, I was talking with Ryan, you know, who contributes, you know, a lot of our West Coast stuff here, or he used to when Disneyland used to be open.
Yes.
And he had some interesting insight. He said, you know, they could introduce something like the Flex Pass, that they introduced a little while back. That would be an option that they could do. So it'll be interesting to see what they ease into.
I will be shocked if some form of annual pass completely goes away at Disneyland, because people, as much as people say it, it's like Disneyland does depend on annual passes for certain parts of the year.
Yeah.
Did they let they wouldn't have sold annual passes if they weren't making money off of them.
Yeah.
If they didn't need it, Yes, we have an annual pass holder base here in Walt Disney World. It is not as large as Disneyland's. It is larger than a lot of people think. For here, a lot of people think there's not as many pass holders as some people try to say there are. But and yes, right now the annual pass holders are helping. Propping open, keeping the parks open,
keeping things going. Yeah.
Pretty much. It's because Disney seems to be doing everything they can to keep people from coming here. But which we'll get to in a minute. It's not surprising. I mean, they had to make a decision at some point. Other companies like Knott's, like Cedar Fair with Knott's, with their parks have just extended their annual passes out another year. But, now Knott's has already had to announce that, now it's going to be extended based on whenever the park finally opens, so it's...
Did you see the shade that the Universal Studios Hollywood Twitter handle posted?
Yeah, how many people have passes to Universal Studios Hollywood?
That's just it. I don't know how big their pass holder base is or how many people I don't hear a whole lot of people going, "Hey, I have an annual pass to Universal Studios Hollywood."
And a lot of people who do, it's like they go there, they go in. A lot of them, they go into the park for a couple hours, grab something to eat at City Walk, and then go. I mean, that's what they do. That park, it's not the biggest park. It's getting bigger, and it's gotten bigger, but it's still, it's not the biggest park, and it doesn't have the annual pass holder base that Disneyland has. So I understand why people are upset. SoCal people are very possessive of Disneyland. All you got to do is look at social media, and so it's for those of us who know or who are in the know too. When you go visit Disneyland, and this is one of the things that has sucked for a lot of tourists, you got to know when the annual pass holder blackouts are.
Yeah,
because if you go during the wrong day at Disneyland, you're not going to have a good day. So it's so they basically with the length of closure, I feel like they just took this opportunity to wipe the slate clean, to deal with whatever write-off they have to deal with refunding the money they have to refund.
There's all sorts of refund stuff that they have to deal with, because there's like...
So, I mean, and because I'm sure summer, maybe, for Disneyland reopening, and then it's going to be very limited.
Yeah, you would think with this announcement that they would be close to some sort of opening, but they're not. Things are really bad out there in California.
It all depends on the vaccine rollout. I mean, and face it, so far it has been, surprise, way slower than was promised. Starting next week, starting January 20th, we'll see if things start changing. But until a certain percentage of the population gets vaccinated, and it's just not happening. And like we said, things are very bad in that area right now.
I've seen
bad.
a lot of news stories on social media and stuff about just how bad it is out there in California. So we have all the details up on our blog. We have the announcement from Ken Potrock and all that stuff, and we have a link if you are a Disneyland annual pass holder and you want to check out the refund discount. How you're going to get your refund and stuff like that. There's a lot of numbers and a lot of information. We have a link to that as well up on our blog post. So if you want to check it out.
And then, we'll wrap it up with one more thing. Changes in future offerings here at the Walt Disney World Resort. As this is the final year of of Disney's Magical Express service from the airport. So there will be no longer be free, emphasize the word free, transportation starting January 1st, 2022. And also, you can kiss extra magic hours goodbye, because later this year, as part of the 50th anniversary, Disney Resort Hotel guests and guests of other select hotels will be able to enjoy 30-minute early entry to any theme park every day.
And that's all 4 parks for 30 minutes.
Yes.
So,
yes.
I saw Magical Express going over to over to Disney Springs today, and I shed a tear.
Well, I mean, I hate to say it, but I mean, just not a surprise. They see the writing on the wall with the attendance is going to take time to come back, and also barring delays. I would be 2023 maybe the train, the light rail train, from the airport to Disney Springs will open, and I think that's a generous estimate.
Because they're still working on like I've driven to the East Coast a couple of times, and they're still working on just like getting infrastructure up, like bridges and clearing land. Like
they're still working. They're currently working on the connection that will connect from Miami all the way to the Orlando International Airport.
Because they've cleared land along it's going to follow the beach line. For those of you familiar with the Orlando area, they've cleared land like all the way to Cocoa.
To 95.
Yeah, the land is cleared. I brought that up on Twitter. I wonder if this Magical Express thing could be something tied to the train coming, but everybody was like, they said exactly what you said. The train isn't coming for another at least couple years, at least.
Yeah, I mean Disney's contract with Mears Transportation, who handles the Magical Express, expired at the end of 2021, and Disney just decided we're just gonna not renew it. And I still think you're going to be able to get some form of transportation. You're just going to have to pay for it now. You're just going to have to pick your luggage up at the baggage baggage terminal, and you're just going to have to carry it yourself, which sucks.
And that was a lot of discussion on social media, Twitter, Facebook, what have you. Is it with all this stuff disappearing, is it worth staying on property anymore? That's the big question that a lot of people are asking.
And that's the question that's really going to be Disney's going to find out, because they've just kept cutting. They charge for parking now. They kept cutting things. There's no extra magic hours. Whether they ever come back, we'll see. I'm all fine for them not coming back if they keep expanding the park hours, because one of our complaints has been in the past, especially during summertime, is the Magic Kingdom would close at 10 o'clock on a summer when it used to stay open till midnight, because of either after hours events or extra magic hours, or just because they cut they've done so much to de-emphasize people from coming during the summer that they cut attendance so much during the summer that it didn't justify keeping the park open late anymore. It's like, so it's things have changed. It's just not surprising. But they really are giving you less and less of a reason to stay at a Disney resort. Albeit right now, for the most part, you can get a discounted price. Be either through different specials or using one of those DVC rental point sites, because some people don't want to come here, but they got to burn their points somehow. So it's not surprising, and I would not, with who knows what coming, and we still don't really know what the 50th celebration is going to be. We'll see. And it'll be interesting to see at once. I hate using the term normal. Once things get back to normal, what does happen, and with all these cuts and stuff, and it's going to be an interesting couple of years
of events at Disney World to see, you know, how things, you know, how they slowly ease back into, you know, normal. And I use the finger quotes. Operation.
New normal.
New normal. What is normal anymore? So, anyways, all right. I think that's all we got for this episode. Anything else, Barry, you wanted to touch on, chat about? Anything else?
Nope, I think that's it. So we are at ThrillGeek on Twitter and Instagram, Facebook.com/ThrillGeek. Please like and follow our Facebook page, YouTube.com/ThrillGeek. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel where you can check out our latest episode of ThrillGeek Adventures. We got the Festival of the Arts merchandise video, and we got the Disney Dog and Cats collection video, which has actually gotten a lot of views. So all that on our YouTube channel, ThrillGeek.com for the latest in theme park and pop culture news. And you are listening to the ThrillGeek Podcast, where if you can get a podcast, you can get the ThrillGeek Podcast.
Yeah, and we also got my Velossa coaster testing at night, which was really cool to see in person, by the way. I was there with Dan from Midway Mayhem. He was there waiting for it, and he gave me the word that they were going to be testing it with lights on, apparently. So I stood there for a few minutes, and sure enough, you know, they started testing it with the lights on the train. So be sure to check that out as well. And all of our other goodies up there on our YouTube channel. You know, we beg and plead with the YouTube channel because that's our biggest following, as well as our Twitter. So be sure to go to our YouTube channel and check out all our videos. Give all the thumbs up, give all the likes and comments and all that good stuff. So
and be sure, you know, and thank you for being patient with us with the website. You know, we've been going through updating changes and adding new things, and I think you're still sort of working on it too. It's sort of a work in progress. Yeah,
you know, really quick before we head on out of here, you know, the website, for those of you that have visited it recently, you know, it's not necessarily a blog anymore, where you just go to ThrillGeek.com and you see just our article posts. I kind of wanted to make it more of a hub for all of our content. So, you know, you'll see our most recent, probably our most popular video, at least within that we've uploaded recently, up on the top of the page, our Facebook and Twitter, our recent blog posts. So it's just more of a hub now for all of our content, you know, since we've never been really a powerhouse for articles, whereas our social content is more of a strong point for us. So I kind of wanted that, our podcast, this thing. Excuse me, I needed to take a drink.
Well, speaking of things you need to fix, if you go to the About page and you click on my Twitter link, it goes to your Twitter. So
does it?
Yes, it goes
stealing all your followers.
Same thing when you click on my Instagram, it goes to Thrill Geeks. So
I'll go look at it. I don't know if that's something you can change, because the thing I use is this pod page, and it's a podcast website builder. So it's really cool. I like it, but some of the aspects of it are almost too simple. You know, and I reached out, like the photo gallery for the blog posts, and, you know, I reached out to him and saying, you know, hey, there should be a way for us to go back and, you know, post old photos and stuff like that. So, you know, it's really simple, it's really cool, but some of it's almost too simple. You know, and I'm hoping they're kind of open to some suggestions of changes and tweaks, you know, because I like it. It's simple. I like simple, but there is such thing as too simple, for me at least. But yeah, I'll look into that, Barry. Remind me later.
Yeah, because it's still... Yeah, because you still can't go back to what the rest of the website. It only goes back so far, right?
Yeah, that was the other thing too, was getting articles switched over and all that stuff. So it's stuff that I'm looking at, trying to work out. If I can't, you know, oh well. But yeah, I'll look into those few things. Just remind me. And yeah, so be sure to go to the website, check it out. Let us know what you think. There's even a voicemail thing. The pod page people, they have a voicemail, so you could actually send a voicemail.
Oh,
to the podcast. We could feature on the podcast. That's kind of dangerous.
Yeah.
And I think it's like, yeah, if you go to ThrillGeek.com, it's like a voicemail thing down in the bottom right-hand corner. Yeah, it's a little microphone. I see it right here.
Oh, yeah, and you can also buy us a cup of coffee on Ko-Fi.
Yeah, I signed up for that thing forever ago. They have a section where you can add that. So, you know, instead of a Patreon, if you want to buy us a coffee, not that Barry and I drink coffee. I don't know if Emily does. Does she drink coffee?
I have no clue.
I don't think she does. But anyways, yeah, go to the website, check it out, check out all of our goodies. And anyways, thanks, guys, for listening, and we'll see you guys on the next episode.
We'll see you in the parks. Please stay safe.
All right, that is done and done. We'll, yeah, I'll look into that, Barry. And like I said, it may be something to where it goes. That's weird that it goes to my Twitter, though. I'll look into it.
Yeah, because Emily's is correct.
Oh, okay. It's probably just the about page because you can do like a.
I haven't logged on either, so it's like to.
It's one thing. So, anyways, all right. I'm gonna end the live stream really quick here, and Barry will hang out for a few minutes after. So, thanks guys for watching as usual. And I don't know what happened with Facebook with this thing. I might go back to StreamYard. We'll see. But anyways, bye guys. Be safe.
Bye.
Wear a mask.